And now moving to Australia, where Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is making waves, not with policy, but with property. As the country grapples with a housing crisis and skyrocketing living costs, Albanese has splurged on a clifftop mansion worth a cool $2.9 million. While millions of Aussies are struggling to find affordable homes, their leader kicks back with panoramic views on the Central Coast. Critics say it's a move that's out of touch and tone deaf, but Albanese insists he knows what it's like to struggle. Here's more on the story.
Australia is facing a housing crisis. Property prices are through the roof, and affordable rentals are becoming as rare as gold dust. But guess who's feeling pretty comfy? Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. While millions of Aussies are struggling to make ends meet, Albanese has just splurged on a clifftop mansion worth a whopping $2.9 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 4-bedroom luxury pad with jaw-dropping views of the Central Coast. The timing of the purchase also couldn't be worse, just months out from an election where housing and cost of living issues are set to dominate. Now, let's be clear. Everyone has a right to own property. But the outrage isn't just about the house, it's the fact that Albanese, the leader of a country battling a housing affordability nightmare, thinks now is a good time to buy a multi-million-dollar mansion. It's a move that his opponents say has left Australians gobsmacked.
People have had 12 interest rate increases under this government, and interest rates should come back, as they're doing in the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada and New Zealand. But because of Mr Albanese's bad economic management, we're seeing inflation remain higher here, and therefore interest rates remain higher as well.
The Prime Minister, though, is standing his ground. In response to the backlash, he reminded Australians that he knows what it's like to struggle. He shared a heartwarming anecdote about growing up in public housing, stating that he wants to help all Australians get into homes.
Well, Jodie and I are getting married, as is known, and I'm pleased about that. And Jodie's a coastie. She's a proud coastie. She's as proud of being a coastie as Jim is here of being a Logan lifelong resident. There are 3 generations of Haydens on the coast there, and when your relationship changes, your life changes and you make decisions. But what I'm focused on is making sure that everyone can get a roof over their head. I'm focused on increased public housing and social housing investment.
Touching story, right? But here's the kicker. This is the same guy buying a nearly $3 million dream home while his policies on housing reform struggle to gain traction. The Labour government has created a $10 billion fund for social and affordable housing, but so far it's hit a brick wall, largely due to opposition from the Greens and Independents who believe the government's policies are overambitious. Greens MP Max Chandler-Mather didn't miss his chance to land a blow, pointing out the irony. He said this purchase underscores the need for housing reform and renter protections. Meanwhile, Liberal Senator Jane Hume took a swing at the timing, calling it tone-deaf. But even with his opponents throwing shade, Albanese seems to be leaning back and enjoying those panoramic views.
I have, of course, I am much better off. As a Prime Minister, I earn a good income. I understand that. I understand that I've been fortunate. But I also know what it's like to struggle. My mum lived in the one public housing that she was born in for all of her 65 years. And I know what it's like, which is why I want to help all Australians into a home, whether it be public homes or private rentals or home ownership.
The cherry on top, data shows that most politicians in Australia aren't exactly feeling the housing crunch. About 95% of federal MPs own at least 2 properties, and a third of them own 3 or more. So, while the average Aussie is struggling to scrape together a deposit, politicians seem to be playing a different game. Albanese's cliff-top house is just the latest and the most glaring example. For a Prime Minister who claims he's one of us, this purchase feels like a PR disaster. A beautiful luxury abode that might just cost him more than he bargained for politically.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election, explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained, every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.